Hey, we'll see how many gassers Mary Kay could do. Go ahead.
Let's bring Mary Kay in after a quick word from FanDuel. Hey, NFL fans, you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So when you get in a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more right on the same page where you can place your bets. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com/UCSS. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. And we welcome in Mary Kay. Mary Kay, we were just discussing your tweet, which had the Jerry Jeudy comment from yesterday. Could you?
Maybe Mary Kay could do Jerry Jeudy a favor and bring. Sorry, Mike. Maybe Mary Kay, you could bring him a pillow because he's so tired.
He's a hard sleeper, just like Justin Gilbert.
That's right. Forgot about that.
Man,
what did you think when you heard that, Mary Kay?
Well, I asked the question, so I feel responsible for this whole thing. But I was just trying to. He was talking about everyone has to do their job. Every single person on the team has to do something. So I just wanted to ask him, what are you going to do this week when you look in the mirror and try to figure out what you need to do, what you can do better? And he offered up that, that he believes that he can work on his conditioning a little bit. And I'm going to give him a hall pass on this because he's had an injured knee. He has not been himself really yet. The Browns are lucky that they have him out there playing as well as they do because he hurt his knee in OTAs. And he did not practice much throughout all of training camp. And I think that it takes a while. You can see there he's got the sleeve on the knee. And it takes a while to get back into the kind of conditioning that you need to be able to play at the speed and the intensity that you need to play in every single game. And I don't think he was saying, I was gassed the whole game. He had a pretty good game. I think he was just offering up one small thing that he can do to do his part. And I thought I appreciated that he gave me something because most guys, probably wouldn't tell you exactly what they're going to do, but he was honest about it. And I don't fault him for that at all. Again, when you cover the team on a daily basis, things about things like the fact that he hasn't been able to practice as much. And so I have a different perspective on it. I do not fault him at all for saying that. For saying that he needs to work on his conditioning a little bit.
Mary Kay, do you know what's the status on Nick Chubb? I know that they've opened up his window, and I seen David Njoku on Instagram hugging him today whilst they was walking down the hall. So is he beginning practice today, and what's the status on him?
Well, they don't practice today. Tuesday Tuesday is their off day, but he will have that window opening tomorrow. And he will be out there practicing tomorrow. And I think that's great news for Browns fans to see Nick Chubb out there. In addition to everything he brings on the field, he's just an inspirational leader for everyone. If Nick Chubb can come back from this injury, then so can everybody else come back from theirs or work a little bit harder or dig a little bit deeper. So I think it's going to be a boost for the whole entire football team to have him back.
Mary Kay, from my understanding, we were talking about this earlier. Bill Callahan was one of the offensive line coach. He was, run game coordinator, and he worked with the run plays as well. And the Browns have been struggling this year. We looked at it, and I believe the new run coordinator is a first-year coach. How are the Browns divvying up the run responsibilities in the run game now that Bill Callahan isn't there? Is it the offensive line coach? Is it specifically a one guy who's the offensive run coordinator, or is it Stefanski, or is it a collaborative effort? Like, who took over that mantle?
Well, it is a collaborative effort. They do have a run game coordinator, but this is a work in progress right now. I do think that they miss Bill Callahan. How could you not miss Bill Callahan? He is a Hall of Fame offensive line coach. So everything is different on the line. Everything is different when it comes to running the football. And of course, they don't have Nick Chubb and whatnot. But I think that they're going to be okay in that regard. The bigger issues right now are the fact that they've had so many problems on the offensive line with injuries. I mean, think about the fact that your all-pro right guard now is out for at least 4 games, and that's at best. There have been tackle problems. I mean, you guys can see that Dawand Jones is not himself. He is not playing as well as he did before he suffered the MCL last year. So he really needs to elevate his game, and they have to figure out how they can draw the best out of Dawand Jones. And then, of course, James Hudson, he's been making his first starts over on the left side. So this week, if they can get Jed Wills back, if they can get Jack Conklin back and Ethan Posick back, I mean, that's really going to help this football team. I think that's been a major part of the issues so far this season.
A really quick follow-up. You just mentioned, Dawand Jones. Obviously, the big thing was the missed block when Deshaun Watson and him kind of got into it. Do you have any inside information on the altercation and Jameis Winston? Not saying that there was anything big. Guys get heated on the sidelines a lot. Have you had opportunity to talk to Dawand Jones and Deshaun about that situation?
Yes, I wrote about that after the game. I talked to all three of those guys in the locker room about that heated exchange. So I talked to Deshaun, Jameis, and Dawand. Dawand took full responsibility. I asked him, did it have anything to do with the fact you're coming back from this knee injury and you're still struggling? He refused to pin it on that. He said, I just have to play better. I saw him go up into the locker room and shake hands afterwards with Jameis Winston and with Deshaun Watson. And I think the thing to remember about this situation is the fact that, yes, it got heated, but Deshaun and Jameis are trying to hold these guys accountable. Everyone needs to be held to the high standard on this football team this year. And so, yes, it got heated, but as Jameis explained to me, it's all in the spirit of encouragement. They see that Dawand Jones can be one of the best tackles in the NFL. They need him to play like it, and I think they're just trying to draw it out of him.
Mary Kay, you talk about a high standard. I'm just not seeing that. I've been very disappointed in Kevin Stefanski. The last two games, his clock management, his timeout usage has been awful. They're terrible in terms of penalties. Like, they're terrible on third down. They're a terrible tackling team right now. They can't score.
They can't score more than 20 points.
Yeah, I know they want to be held to a high standard, and I like that, but nobody seems to be being held to a high standard right now. That's how it feels.
Well, I understand that, but I think what everyone needs to look at is right now, if you told anyone that Deshaun Watson would be largely without his top two targets for the first 4 games of the season in David Njoku and Amari Cooper, I don't think that you would have thought the Browns were going to have a winning record at that point. Amari Cooper, for whatever reason, has not been consistent. He hasn't been himself. He came back and had one good game, but then in this past game, he made one of the biggest mistakes of the game, not catching that ball that was right there on his chest. And normally he catches that football. So that did not help matters at all there. And then, again, David Njoku has not been out there for the past 3 games. If you go league and you take away the top 2 targets of any quarterback, it's going to be a long road. And then you add to that major offensive line problems, a struggling new offensive scheme that not everybody really is on top of yet. They're still not on the same page with it yet. But I think the takeaway that people should have from this game is the fact that Deshaun Watson played really well. He played really well, and you can't blame this loss on Deshaun Watson. I thought he made some of the best plays that he's made since we've seen him here. And if your quarterback is going right, then your football team has a chance to go right and get it together. And they're going to get David back this week. Some of the tackles might be back, and it's going to look better. He needs more help. The quarterback needs more help, but I think he's showing that he's on top of things. And he's gotten hit 53 times so far in these first 4 games, and he keeps getting up, brushing it off, and going on to the next play.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I mean, the bar has been set so low with Deshaun that we're willing to say that this was like a really good performance, and the reality is the offense scored 10 points. And did he lose the game for the Browns? No, he did not lose the game for the Browns. But if I were to give a nameless, faceless quarterback and show that stat line and said they scored 10 points, you wouldn't be saying the guy played really well. I don't see it. What
would you say if they didn't call Nick Harris for holding and Amari Cooper scored an 82-yard game-winning touchdown?
Yeah, but but they did call holding because it was holding.
But they did call it, which they can call it, or they don't have to
because if he doesn't hold the player, then Deshaun's tackled or has pressure on that play.
He still got crushed. He still got crushed on that play.
Right, but he'd have got there early. He'd have got there sooner. I'm just saying you can't just pick and choose what penalty. I'm sorry. I'm not attacking you, certainly. I'm just
saying that we've seen that called and we've seen it not called. We've seen it called and we've seen it not called. And in another moment in time, maybe it doesn't get called, and that's a touchdown pass. And we're saying what a great play that was. And there were other opportunities when Dawand Jones let the guy blow past him. Cooper was open for a touchdown there. And, there were many times, even that 4th and 3rd play on the 9. I know everybody has a problem with that last play. I'm writing about it right now. As soon as we get off of here, I'm going to go back and write more about it. But even there, the pocket completely collapsed on that. And there was a designed play, and it just didn't go well. When you have Nick Harrison there and Zach Zinter instead of Wyatt Teller and Ethan Posick, these are go as well as you want them to.
But teams have injuries. I mean, the Browns are not the only. I mean, the Chiefs lost their best wide receiver in the beginning of last game. Their starting running back is out for the year or most of the year. And Patrick Mahomes may and I don't bring this up really to knock Watson. I just think we're making a lot of excuses for the offense that other teams have also that, you got to find a way.
We didn't play the Ravens and Bills the last.
Yeah, you played a terrible team without their best players.
The Giants and the Raiders, and the Raiders without their best players.
Well, let's let Mary Kay go. And then we can argue the rest. Mary Kay, thank you. We'll argue with each other here. Coming up next. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Mary Kay.
We'll see you later. But yeah, I mean, I don't even. It's not even about Watson necessarily. It's just about the offense. Like
the team.
There's too many excuses for the offense.
Adam, now, is this team winning more than 5 games?
No, I don't think so. Not the way they're playing right now.
I don't see it as an excuse for the offense. It's a reality check.
Well, but Mary Kay said without his top 2 targets, and she included Amari Cooper. No offense, Amari Cooper's here. No, because he's not playing well.
Yeah, no, Amari Cooper is playing like crap.
Okay, but so. I mean, you can't. I can't say she's without.
But would we say he played like crap if Harris didn't hold?
I mean,
I'm joking. My point is, he actually made some plays in that game.
He made some plays, like the throw in the 4th quarter. Yeah. Like the last drive, he made a play. But here's what I'm saying is, it's not. I think it's 2 different things. When you say they ain't playing well, that's not an excuse. I point out all of them. What I've been trying to get people to do from Jump Street is this. When we half stepping, we say everybody played bad. Nah, there'll be times when Deshaun Watson played bad, and I'll be like, that loss is on freaking Deshaun Watson. Put it up on him.
Nobody's putting it on Deshaun Watson this game.
But here's what I'm gonna say though. Yeah. Just because we're not moving it like, well, he didn't have the yardage. And is it worth the 234? Like here's the problem. There's millions of people that are rich and getting paid, and these other quarterbacks are. Everybody's getting $1 million. Everybody's getting through. I can't sit up here and say.
We don't care about other teams.
Yes, we do. We bring them up all the time. We bring it up. Joe Burrow, he make a lot of money. They 1-3. Is it his fault?
No.
Well, okay then.
Are you really gonna?
Okay then. This is wild.
That's just silly.
Jared,
Come on.
I mean, 40 points a game.
You're comparing Deshaun. Joe Burrow, when he's been healthy, has been good all the time. Deshaun Watson hasn't played well in years.
But we use Deshaun Watson missed the whole year injured, right?
Yeah.
How many games Joe Burrow missed last year? A whole bunch.
Yeah.
But we say injury withdrawn. It's not worth the 234.
Yeah, but wait a second. G, even when Burrow was playing last year and he was hurt for a lot of the year he was playing, he still played way better than Watson played.
What I'm saying to you is, look, every quarterback.
I'm just saying that's a disingenuous comparison.
Every quarterback that starts.
Your point's well served. This is a bad comparison.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Every quarterback that's a starting level quarterback makes at least $25 million a year. 25.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Deshaun Watson at this point is what? The 11th highest paid quarterback?
I don't know.
I think he's 9th. But
okay.
But he's playing the worst football overall. But he played well this game.
I can go to Kyler Murray.
Trevor Lawrence ain't playing
Trevor Lawrence is the highest.
Trevor Lawrence sucks.
Okay.
But gee, if we were working in Jacksonville, we'd be killing. But nobody's killing.
But we're not
hold on.
We're not killing nobody.
I'm not killing Deshaun Watson.
I
agree with you. He played well this week. But Mary Kay, I think Mary Kay, to say he hasn't had his 2 best targets is not true.
That was her words, not mine.
I know.
Wait a minute.
That's her word.
Gee, you were right. It's 11, by the way. You were right. 11.
So here's all I'm saying. Yeah. I believe in team sports, and I hate this more than anything. I hate taking blame off one man and putting it on another man and not saying, you didn't do your job, man. Nick Harris didn't do his job. And just because Nick Harris is a backup and he's not a quarterback, we just, he did a bad job. No, you got us screwed because you held somebody and we completed the pass. Amari Cooper, you get paid $20 million a year. I know it ain't $234 guaranteed, boo.
Yeah.
But you got to catch that run.
And we've been killing those guys.
No, not enough. Not enough.
He ain't wrong.
The kicker. We're not even talking about that. If you hit your extra point, we kick the field goal and go to overtime. We don't mention this. So I think it's disingenuous to say, I made the play, I threw it to you, it was in your chest, you dropped it. I can't do nothing more about that. So the whole holy grail where the quarterback's the Messiah and walks on water, he can't turn water into wine.
Okay.
He got to make a job.
But then you got to admit that this offseason, when the only argument people had to defend Watson, like Earl, because Earl used this argument a lot, was his win-loss record, then I don't want to hear that. And that argument's out the window.
Again, that is Earl's record.
But you agree that argument's out the window.
I just had
because Phil Walker is that dude.
No,
that's why.
Bro, I just had a podcast on Ultimate Brown that told Deshaun Watson that your supporting cast is not good enough for you to be regular. Right?
That's right, yeah.
And people's like, oh my goodness, you're flip-flopping. No, I'm not. I'm just telling you what's on the screen that's evident. They don't have the line. They don't have the playmakers. So what he did was, guess what? The things that were in his control, he controlled it. He didn't turn the football over except for the one that wasn't his fault. He did give you a game-winning drive. Somebody got called for holding. He was inside the 20. They snapped the ball when they ain't ready. You got to have people doing their job, man.
Hey, listen, I do believe that Deshaun Watson in this game played well enough to win. I don't think he played a great game. I think he played a good game. I think he played well enough to win, and I think the team let him down around him. My point was that let's not. I don't want to hear the injury excuse because every team's got injuries.
And Amari Cooper's playing. I didn't get that from Mary
He's not there. And let's not get nuts here. David Njoku is a nice NFL player. That's all he is.
Antonio Gates.
I mean, come on now.
It could be.
Come on now, G.
That ain't.
He's a nice player.
He was trending up.
Again,
it's not like Travis Kelce's out of the lineup.
G. Bush speaks for G. Bush.
I hear you. All right, fair enough.
Raul Massenberg, a.k.a. G. That was for
G. Let me wrap this with this one point. I got a bunch of friends that live in Philly who are Eagles fans. If you are a Jalen Hurts supporter, you are in hell right now in Philadelphia. I mean, it is a bloodbath over
how much he get paid?
Nick Sirianni. Jalen Hurts is making more money than Deshaun Watson.
Okay.
We talk about Deshaun because we're a Cleveland show.
Yeah.
In Philadelphia, they're not talking about Deshaun. They're talking about Jalen Hurts. In Jacksonville, they're talking about Trevor Lawrence, not Deshaun Watson.
If you're not watching the Browns and you just saw Deshaun's stats, you'd say, oh, he didn't have a good game. We're watching the game, so we say, I don't know. Maybe Jalen Hurts is playing better. I don't know. I didn't watch this last game.
Every single one of my friends who's an Eagles fan says trade him, cut him.
Your friends are
ridiculous. By the
way, because I get so tired of. I don't count Tyvis's money. I
ain't got nothing to count.
I don't count Bulls money, McNuggets, Dustin Fox. I can't count their checks. I can only do what I can do. Baby. And my thing is, there's a bunch. That's the quarterback position. They gonna get that bread regardless. How much money Danny Dimes make?
$40 million this year, and he's getting cut next year.
You don't think in New York?
$40 million.
But you don't think in New York they're not complaining about that?
Oh, Daniel Jones is a walking.
You don't think in Philly they're complaining about Hurts' money?
You don't
think the 82 Jaguars fans out there are complaining about Trevor Lawrence's money?
Danny Dimes against Dallas actually played well.
He played pretty good. I like it.
Giants fans hate him and want him out.
So all I'm saying though, is
they always talk about the quarterback.
All I'm saying is, the money aspect of it is irrelevant. I want my quarterback, whether he making 5 cents or $5 billion. I just want you to play good. The money involved is economics. Like there's a lot of people that make money that don't deserve it. I work with thousands of people in our lives. You'd be like, how the hell you make that
I'm
much
telling
money?
you.
It's not about what you're worth. It's what you can get.
They be
Most
stealing.
managers are idiots.
They
let's
be
face it.
stealing.
CEOs steal money every day.
And I just
But-
all I wanted was $10 million.
But-
That's it. I would have played
Brett-
hard for it.
Brett Favre stole from all the poor people in Missouri, and now we're supposed to feel sorry for him. I don't.
The quarterback gets the credit and he gets the blame.
It is what it is.
He's got
Nature of
got
the beast.
parked
It is
his
what
car.
it is. That's why they get the bag.